Hi there. I am Marcia Norman, and I want to welcome you to the 43rd annual celebration of the Susan Smith Blackburn Prize.
Winning the Susan Smith Blackburn Award absolutely changed my life. It changed the prospects for my writing, and I'm not ashamed to say that writing is my life.
It means a lot to me as a woman of color that my voice is heard, my voice matters, and that people care about my stories. And I am glad to be able to continue on this journey as a part of a sisterhood with so many women.
This was my first major prize for my first play before it hits home. This prize signaled to me that I was finally a playwright, that I had arrived, and I haven't stopped yet.
We women, we are 50% of this planet, and yet we don't have 50% of the platform. And Susan's legacy is being and has been instrumental in helping to change that.
I think the Blackburn Prize is the most important prize in the world still to this day for women writing for the theater.
The way that the prize elevates the voices of women has given me permission to continue writing boldly and unapologetically.
To me, the Blackburn Prize is the most essential, important award that can be given to a playwright. Not only because of the recognition that it provides to the writers, but more importantly, the encouragement that it gives to theaters to expand their idea of what a playwright is.
Just after I'd had my first child, and I was very much in a bubble of babies and sleepless nights and not feeling creative at all, and I woke up to a lovely voicemail from a lovely American lady telling me that I'd been shortlisted, and it was like a bolt from the blue, just from a different place, reminding me who I was and that my work was valued.
Just being on a list for me personally has been very, very special. It's joining the ranks of these women who have come before me, who have made the list and who have done great things and trailblazed great careers within the American theater.
This prize means business. If you have won the Blackburn Prize, you will be taken seriously, and if you haven't won it yet, you still have time.
The best part, I think, though, about the Susan Smith Blackburn Prize is it being this force of female playwriting, and it brings you as a female playwright into this brilliant, inspiring, supportive community of playwrights, which is an absolute honour to be part of and has helped me to meet lots of my peers and create really brilliant relationships which have been so phenomenally supportive at the beginning of my career.
So just imagine how wonderful it feels to be embraced by the prize, to be lauded, to be honored and recognized. It means so much to me. It will follow me throughout what I hope is a long career as a playwright.
These plays should be part of the canon that makes up the history of theater.
I want to wish you a great evening, and I invite you to share stories and jokes and with each other, because the prize is a family, and you are now part of that. And so I want to turn it over to the family to talk to you about the history of the prize and whatever else it is that they want to talk to you about. Okay, here we go.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for being here. Playwrights, family, friends, distinguished guests, it means the world to me. I'm Emily, I'm Susan's granddaughter, and I'm an actress currently training at Juilliard. Although I never knew Susan, I've always felt a very strong kinship with her, and that's largely thanks to this prize keeping her memory so vividly alive for me and for all our family.
The brilliant plays that come to light every year through the Susan Smith Blackburn Prize remind me that my mother's spirit really does live on. Her discerning taste in literature and in theatre, along with her belief that society always needs more influence from women, are qualities that shine brightly through this prize every year.
When I was a very young teenager, I remember looking through my mum's old bookshelf and I saw a copy of Michael Chekhov's To the Actor, and it was a really battered old copy, and I took it out and I opened it, and inside there was an envelope dated May 1963, and it was to Susan. And on the back of the envelope she'd written all these notes: psychophysical connection, psychological gesture, and then like the importance of costume was underlined in red. And as I kept looking through the book, there were all these circlings and underlinings, and in that moment I felt such a cocktail of feelings. And on the one hand I felt so connected to her, more connected than I'd ever felt, because she just got it, you know, and like reading those notes I just was like, she just got it. And then there was another part of me that felt so overwhelmingly sad, because here I was with the same dreams and the same ambitions that she had, but I had life and I had time to live them and see them come into fruition. And so much of her hard work, whether that be artistically or politically, she wasn't given time to see those things bear fruit.
After she died, the prize was dreamt up by her sister Mimi and her husband Bill, both as a commemoration for Susan and as the perfect way to give continuity to her liberal values, her passion for the theatre and belief in women's rights. To be involved with the prize and to see it through the years helping so many women playwrights become visible and flourish has been one of the greatest privileges of my life, and something for which I'll always be hugely grateful.
Over several decades, my father and Mimi have worked tirelessly to build this prize, and I think that 43 years of their efforts have really paid off. The recognition gained by the many finalists and winners of the prize, and the benefit to the world of theatre and beyond, is testament to the success of their efforts. Amongst the myriad of wonderful things that Mimi and my father have brought to my life, none is more precious than the magic they've worked in keeping Susan's spirit alive and relevant to this present day.
You know, I believe that she's looking down on this prize and seeing the incredible work the playwrights have written over the years, and I know that she's smiling from the stars and her soul is filled with joy. And I also just want to thank all the playwrights from the bottom of my heart as an actor, because thanks to your fearless voices, our theatre is becoming so much more interesting. We are seeing voices come to the stage that have never before been heard. And I really believe that theatre has the ability to change lives and to change minds and to change hearts. And we need you more than ever. So thank you so much. And I hope you all have a wonderful 2021. And thank you so much again for being here for our online celebration.
Hi, I'm Jenny Jules. When I was a judge, I was asked to read 10 plays by living playwrights, all of them women. To read 10 plays, one after the other, I thought was a daunting challenge. I couldn't have been more wrong. It was a very precious and lasting gift. Each of the playwrights had their own unique voice. Every play was beautiful, utterly beautiful. Inventive, brave. Some of them were incredibly powerful, so bold and very moving. What was so wonderful was to see a world through a prism in which I recognized as a woman, but very rarely experienced in art. So I remember gushing to Mimi at the judges' dinner about how important this prize was and how young women really needed it in the theatre, and that this was the female database that I had longed for my whole career. Here it was in the Susan Smith Blackburn Prize. And I remember Mimi grabbing me up in a hug and thanking me. And I kind of felt a bit dumb. I just thought, look at me, a greenhorn. This has been going for 30 years, like 3 decades, and it's new to me, you know, shame on me. But instead of Mimi treating me like I was some dumb person, I wrote a letter to her, and she wrote back and invited me to become a board member. And I'm a very proud board member of the Susan Smith Blackburn Prize. The judges for the 2021 Susan Smith Blackburn Prize are, from the UK, theatre, opera and film director Natalie Abrahami, award-winning star of stage and screen Paapa Essiedu, winner of multiple Oliviers for production design, the great Bunny Christie. From the US, Lincoln Center resident director Lileana Blain-Cruz, Broadway and TV star Jason Butler Harner, and theatre and arts leader Seema Sueko. And now here's my dear friend Jason Butler Harner to start off our award presentation.
Hey there. You know, in such a challenging time, I have to say that all of this year's submissions were incredibly inspiring to me. I'm a longtime grateful reader for the Blackburn, but especially this year because all 10 finalists were not only a ghost light for the theater that I desperately miss, but also a beacon of hope for the theater that is waiting for us. They are all worthy and will definitely be produced, but more than that, they are bona fide, undeniable reminders of the power and art of great playwriting. And of course, writing by women. As self-described by Glace Chase, XXX is really just a rom-com at heart in that it gives us equal time and weight to Wall Street banker bro Scotty as it does to Dexy, a trans performer and comedian. But Chase opens up the forum by giving us access to intermittently successful comedy sets of Dexy and big and small family drama of Scotty, as well as giving us moments where Dexy says things like, "I am the passing through. I am the great step along the path to your destination, whatever that is." On the eve of his wedding day, Scotty has to decide if he can follow his heart and choose Dexy, or go through with this envisioned wedding and life that he and his family have planned for him. Chase's hilarious play delves, of course, into Scotty's inner turmoil, but much more importantly than that, into the nuance of love and relationships between straight men and trans women. XXX by Glace Chase.
Hi everyone, I'm Glace Chase. I'm so excited to be nominated for this award. XXX is a passion project for me. It's about a straight Wall Street banker bro that has an affair with a trans performer, and then his family finding out the day before he gets married. And, you know, I play the trans performer as well. And it's based on a true story and about my life, I guess, in New York City nightlife, and also a really significant relationship that I had. It was a really long development process and quite arduous, actually. And I really wanted to explore and show an audience the inside of a trans relationship because, you know, they're not really all that well understood. And no one's ever really thought about it or thought about it from, you know, the guy's perspective, actually, because they're, in a way, there's a lot of kind of judgment, I think, towards men that are attracted to trans women. And it can be a little bit rough. So I wanted to really take an audience in and make them feel that journey. Unfortunately, we were shut down because of COVID. It was developed through Australia at Sydney Theatre Company and Queensland Theatre. We were shut down 2 days before opening night, but I am back in Brisbane. We are opening in 2 weeks. I'm so excited. And when I found out that I'd been nominated, it honestly meant the world. This is such a significant playwriting award, and all of my idols have been shortlisted or won it. And then to see the caliber of the people, of the women that have also been nominated, it really does mean the world, especially for a project that is so personal to me. So thank you so much. Thank you, fellow nominees. Good luck to us all. And thank you so much.
Paapa Essiedu will now announce our next finalist.
A Play for the Living in the Time of Extinction by Miranda Rose Hall is a one-woman play about climate change. Naomi, the stage manager / lightboard operator / dramaturg of the Zero Emissions Theatre Company, is left to perform climate beasties all on her own after her two collaborators bail on her. What ensues is an evening of interactive, interspecies storytelling that asks, through story, song, and movement, how to be human in an era of man-made extinction.
Hi, everybody. It is such an honor to be a finalist for this prize and to be in the company of such brilliant writers. Thank you so much for inviting me into this community. I feel so proud to be connected to Susan Smith Blackburn's life and legacy, and so proud to be connected to all of you. Thank you. I started writing A Play for the Living in a Time of Extinction because I was, and I am, overwhelmed by our climate crisis and overwhelmed by the grief, rage, and chaos of extinction in particular. I hoped that by making this piece, I could help a character and an audience metabolize some of that intensity, and that the play could be a bridge to a more compassionate conversation about how to care for each other and our world. I want to thank Lub-Dub Theatre Company for commissioning, developing, and supporting this play, and Baltimore Center Stage for guiding it through its first production. Thank you to the many artists, the performers, directors, fellow writers, producers, and artistic staff members who've offered so many life-giving contributions. And I thank my family for their unconditional love, counsel, and senses of humor. I also want to acknowledge that we are living in a time of ecological emergency that is having disproportionate and increasingly alarming impacts on Indigenous communities and people of color. We must work to build a more sustainable world. And as we do, I want to encourage the Susan Smith Blackburn community to rally behind the organizers and institutions who are centering the wisdom and the experiences of Indigenous communities and people of color. The well-being of our planet, the stability of our shared future, and even our ability to keep making theater depend on this vital work. Thank you.
Here's Natalie Abrahami introducing our next finalist.
It's been such a privilege and pleasure to be on this year's award panel in a strange year where we haven't been able to go to the theatre. It has been such succour and provided such a haven to be able to journey into the imaginations of these 10 phenomenal playwrights with their unique imaginations and voices. And so it is with great delight that I am able to introduce the work of a playwright I hugely admire, Dawn King, and her play The Trials. The Trials is set in the near future, in a world struggling to survive environmental destruction. It creates a chilling scenario where teen jurors debate and decide the fate of the adults whose actions and failure to act have doomed our planet. This play will make you question everything you are doing today and its legacy for our future. I haven't been able to stop thinking about it.
Being nominated for the Susan Smith Blackburn Prize is a huge privilege, and it's also incredibly useful. It's a privilege because it means that you're part of a cohort of inspirational women that have been inspiring me since I first started being interested in theatre or writing. And it's incredibly useful because the play gets more attention, and hopefully that means that it will get more productions. And in the case of my play, that means hopefully that it will get produced here in the UK and in America and maybe some other places. My play, The Trials, is about the climate crisis and about young people. And I had the idea for the play when I was sitting at home booking some flights to go to America, where I was going to a writing residency and writing some poetry. And I realised that it was the day of the first climate strike here in the UK. And I'd meant to go down to support the young people, but I'd forgotten. And I thought to myself, not only are you not part of the solution, right now you're actually part of the problem. Even though I think of myself as being this lefty, liberal, green person, I thought then that maybe in the future the younger generation wouldn't think that I had done enough. And I had this idea about the younger generation putting the older generation on trial for climate crimes and deciding what happens to us. And I included myself as a character in the play because I wanted to include myself in this question I was asking, you know, are we doing enough? And writing the play was activism. It meant that I had to ask myself some hard questions, and it changed me. And it wasn't an easy write, but it was very valuable, I think, for me as a process to go through. And I hope that productions of the play will engage with the questions that it's asking, and that everybody involved in a production will also have to ask themselves those questions. And the fact that the Susan Smith Blackburn Prize have recognised this play, I think it is going to really help with the message of the play and the importance of this subject.
And now here's our US judge, Seema Sueko.
The judging process was rigorous and joyful. It was an honor to read all these plays. I'd like to tell you about The Gift by Janice Okoh. This is a comedy drama exploring the impact of imperialism on the Black British experience today. Set in both the Victorian era and the present day, the play focuses on the true story of Sarah Boneva Davies, a 19th century Yoruba princess who was adopted by Queen Victoria. Her story is contrasted with a modern-day Black British Sarah to explore themes of cross-racial adoption and cultural appropriation. The two Sarahs are then brought together when they meet Queen Victoria for a rather unusual and highly entertaining tea party. This is a wonderful script.
Thank you so much for giving me this award. I can't believe it, so thank you. This play started out as a dream of mine to give voice to a real-life historical character called Sarah Boneva, and through her I was able to explore racism in 19th century England and racism now, so thank you so much. And thank you Dawn Wharton at Eclipse Theatre for giving me the commission. Without her this wouldn't have happened, and without Justine Theman at Coventry Belgrade Theatre, and Ola for providing such amazing dramaturgy. Thank you so much. I'm really, really excited and happy that my name is going to be sitting amongst the names of female playwrights who I have idolised for years and who have been my inspiration. So, this is just amazing. Thank you.
My darling friend Bunny Christie will now introduce our next finalist.
The Aves by J.H. Park. It's a beautiful, haunting meditation on love, life, growing old, and birds. It's spare, poetic, funny, sad, and ever surprising. The Aves ask big questions through the elegant simplicity of the changing of the seasons and two people sitting on a park bench. It's gorgeous writing with a fully formed sense of place and vision, and I love the audacity and fun of having a scene between two birds. It's very, very beautiful, and I really loved this play.
Hi everyone, I'm J.H. Park and I wrote The Aves.
When I was working on this play, I was thinking a lot about how my favorite part of theater is that sensation of falling into a world. Like when time stops and the entire room is somehow magically breathing together. And that's a feeling that I miss so much in these times that we're living in. I've been especially interested for the last few years in design and environment and trying to think about how those elements engage with the play in earlier stages of writing and development, which has been really inspiring and transformative for the development of this play particularly. Just discovering how those tools can help deepen engagement with presence and being, which are really slippery things to try and get at directly. But they're concepts that feel really deeply entwined with nature and grief and time and grace. And somewhere in that swirl of ideas came this play. I want to say thank you so much for gathering us here together, even remotely. It's really moving to be reminded, especially in this moment, that I'm not alone behind my little screen and that there are a lot of us out there around the world who are working in this medium, even when a lot of our stages are dark, even when we're asking really important questions about what we want theater to look like when we return. In this time, I will be thinking of all of you out there. You give me courage, you give me heart. I can't wait to encounter these plays and you writers out in the world soon. Thanks. Bye.
And presenting our next finalist is Lileana Blain-Cruz.
Hello! It has been an absolute pleasure to be a judge for the Susan Smith Blackburn Prize. To be immersed in such incredible writing, all wrestling in a myriad of ways with what it means to be alive, was a true reminder of how special playwrights are and how eager I am to return to the theater. And so, it is with great joy that I get to talk about Maggie May by Frances Poet. Maggie May tells the story of a feisty and funny Leeds woman who is trying to keep her Alzheimer's diagnosis secret from the world. Developed with people living with dementia, the play was conceived and structured to be accessible for people sharing Maggie's condition. It's an ordinary tale of extraordinary resilience, written with deep compassion, full of humor, and songs sung to each out of love.
Hi, I'm Frances Poet. I used to be a literary manager and I used to take great pride in nominating extraordinary women playwrights for the award. And then when I became a writer and theatre started to nominate my play, I'd get this incredible buzz of excitement. Is it possible? Might it be a finalist? Funnily enough, when Leicester Curve nominated the play, they were a co-producer of Maggie May with Leeds Playhouse and Queen's Theatre Hornchurch. I got no buzz of excitement. I didn't for 1 minute think that the play would be selected. And I've been trying to think why that was. And I think it was a sort of COVID despondency. Maggie May was a COVID casualty like so many others, and I was much luckier than some because though we didn't get our press night, we did get some previews, so I was able to see Jemima Levick's extraordinary production. I was able to see Ethna Brown's irresistible Maggie on stage. But what I didn't get is that dialogue you get with an audience through a show's run. And if there was ever a play where I'd wanted to sit amongst an audience and feel their reaction and talk to them afterwards, this was it. The play was the brainchild of Nikki Taylor, who has done pioneering work presenting dementia-friendly performances at Leeds Playhouse and beyond. And she's worked with some inspirational people living with dementia. And she wanted them to be able to watch a play that was about their experiences, but that didn't exclude them. A play that was truthful, but positive. My dad had dementia, and the experience I had with that meant that telling the story in a positive way felt like quite an intimidating brief. But Nikki introduced me to people living such rich lives and who were contributing so much to the Playhouse and the work they were presenting there, that with their help, telling Maggie's story in a positive way suddenly seemed possible and true. But bloody COVID stopped me getting to watch the play at Leeds with those people who had helped to shape it. And without wanting to sound overly dramatic, I think a little part of my belief in the play died at that point. So it wasn't until I got the thrilling phone call to hear that Maggie May had been selected as a Susan Smith Blackburn finalist that I started to sort of reassess that. And since then, I've had so many people read the play and respond with such warmth that it's really reignited my belief in it and, frankly, my writing. And I think that is probably exactly why this award was set up in honour of Susan's life. So I would like to say a huge thank you to the judges and to the directors and administrators of this extraordinary award. You cured me of my COVID despondency, and I am so very grateful. Thank you.
Natalie Abrahami is back to announce our next finalist.
I'm so honoured to be able to introduce the brilliant Beth Steele's The House of Shades. If it weren't for the pandemic, I would have been able to see this play in full production at the Almeida last year, and I was gutted not to be able to, and so it was all the more moving to be able to read it in the interim. This play is an epic family tragedy set against the ever-changing industrial landscape of working-class Britain. It charts 5 decades in the family of the Websters, their hopes and dreams for the future and their enduring nightmares of the past. Through canny doubling and imaginative structuring, Steele increases the resonance of inherited trauma and splits open family, politics and country. I absolutely love this play.
The House of Shades began really with my falling in love with Greek tragedy. These bold and bloody, emotional roller coaster plays. And it really made me want to write a family drama. And that family be a working class family. It be rooted in the place and the people that I'm from. And yet here is that world on a stage in a play that feels Greek, that has this stature and epic legs and theatricality and hopefully the poetry. Everything that I loved about these larger than life mythic plays. So that was the starting point. To be here now and for the play to be recognised by the Susan Smith Blackburn Prize is incredible. This year, so much more incredible. It means more than any year. I genuinely mean that. It's an honour. It's always such an exciting list of writers. There's writers I know, writers I don't know, plays I've seen, plays I'm going to see. It's eclectic. And so to be part of such a brilliant list of banging plays is wonderful, and I'm hugely, hugely grateful. Thank you.
Congratulations to all our finalists. At the discretion of the judges, we sometimes give a special commendation to a play of outstanding achievement and singular vision. This special acknowledgement comes with an award of $10,000. And we are delighted this year to offer 2 special commendations. And here to talk about these plays are Jason Butler Harner and Bunny Christie.
I am thrilled and absolutely humbled to award a special commendation to Kimberly for her masterful play, The Water Palace. I am so moved, so excited by this play. I almost don't know where to begin. It is It's a virtuosic, dynamic, poetic, lean in, deeply human exploration of both how we try to explain and understand evil and those who commit atrocities, but also to the necessity and aspiration of more conscious communication. It's also just a testament to the power of a well-timed homemade cookie. The Water Palace high dives into the interrogation of Saddam Hussein, who is referred only to as S throughout the play, by George Pirot, the Assyrian Lebanese American FBI special agent who strategically, patiently bore through that icy wall. This play explores the legacy of violence and genocide, taking us on a profound journey, a meditation on power, ego, hope, trust, and sons and mothers. Lee's play has a sweeping design, including smell and hopefully taste in any production that I want to see, and it is breathtakingly matched by just bountiful language and deeply compelling dialogue. Also, there's a polar bear. You know, this is the first year that the Blackburn has awarded 2 special commendations, and when you read both of these plays, you will understand why. The Water Palace by Kimberly.
Hi, everybody. I first just want to offer my deep thanks to everyone involved in the work of supporting playwrights and everyone at the Susan Smith Blackburn for gathering this community of writers this year. And I'm so grateful to be in the virtual company of this incredible group. And I'm also grateful to know that we as a group are only the tip of the iceberg, and there's so many just incredible, gorgeous, distinct, striking voices of women who are making theater right now. And then, this play, talking about this play, it probably seems like a dodge, but I do actually have a really difficult time talking about where a play comes from and describing, whatever process I go through, which is sort of like, following my nose and then bumping into the furniture a lot. People tend to glaze over fairly quickly, which, that's fair enough. Sometimes I glaze over as I'm telling it. And I think it's kind of a strange thing to contemplate, the origin story of a story. It feels like something that's fated to always be only partially true. And so the things that I construct when I talk about how I wrote a play, it's not that they're a lie, but they're not ever exactly quite what happened. So in whatever way that we're having a relationship to this idea of the truth of what happened, I made a list of things as I was thinking about this. I made a list of all the thoughts and questions and things that I was thinking about in the process of working on this play, which I've been doing for the past few years. And so I'm just going to share my list with you. And number 1 is George Pirot on 60 Minutes. Who is this dude? Did he really give his mother's cookies to Saddam Hussein in an interrogation room in Baghdad in 2004? Number 2, you can't write this play. Go do something else, like scramble an egg, maybe. Number 3, cookies, mothers and sons. Who is George Pirot's mother? Number 4, how does one grow up in Turlock, California, and end up being the dude that debriefs Saddam Hussein? Did this really happen this way? Number 5, who is Saddam's mother? Why are there so many conflicting stories about her? Mothers and sons. Number 6, softness. Why is it so surprising to find it in hard places? Number 7, human capacity to process complexity, to grapple with oppositional truths held in the same space. The discomfort and pain of that cognitive dissonance, leading to urgent leveraging and shaping of narrative towards simple things that are legible and graspable, rather than complex things that persist in opposition but are nonetheless true at the same time in the same space. Number 8, the uses of narrative, personal, national, institutional, so many mechanisms, but very often ultimately engaged in one task, in bending any story toward, hey, I'm a good guy. We're the good guys. We're all good guys. And we all do this. Number 9, did Sanab really cry when they said goodbye for the last time? Did he really say these things to George as they smoked cigars together? Is this true? Number 10, causality as a narrative cornerstone. Like, get out of here with this. Can I mess with this? Wobble it, put a crack in it, break it, maybe break a little something with the writing. Let me just try to break a little something. And number 11, scrambled eggs and toast. Don't write that play. Who said you could write that play? What are you doing? Why do you insist on persisting in this ridiculousness? Go eat your eggs. So that's it. I hope for you all a healthy and healing year, and thank you so much for the chance to be in community, even virtually, to celebrate women writing plays.
I'm delighted to have been part of the Susan Smith Blackburn Prize, and this year I am honoured to award the special commendation to Ife Uljobi for her play Jordans. Jordans is a dark revenge comedy. It's a blistering indictment on the toxicity of Black employees' experience in white corporate America. It's meta-theatrical, funny, absurd, and violent, and Jordans takes us on a wild and terrifying ride. We love this play. It's beautiful, clever, funny, sharp writing. And for me as a designer, it would be an absolute blast to design because the world of it is so clearly and wittily imagined. Ife's worked through the metaphor of the advertising agency in such a witty and sharp way. It's punchy, sophisticated, edgy, and it's got the most devastating ending. It's very, very classy, superb piece of dramatic, political writing, and it's really breathtaking. You can tell how much I loved it. Congratulations. Well done. It's a fantastic piece of writing.
When the seeds of what would eventually become Jordans first came to me, I was a 22-year-old receptionist, sitting at my desk at my miserable job, trying to pass the time, trying to write my way out of a depression. I wrote about isolation and numbness and madness. I wrote about all the other young Black women sitting at front desks just like mine in casually cruel offices all over the city, just trying to get a little respect. I was angry with myself, angry with the world and its myriad systems of oppression, and I let all that anger that was boiling inside me out onto the page. And honestly, what came out scared me, but it also taught me a lot about myself as a person and an artist. And in the years since then, my anger hasn't necessarily lessened, but it has evolved, and so have I. So to be recognized for this play that has grown with me, that in many ways represents an artistic coming of age, is an event of incredible significance. Likewise, to be recognized as a finalist for an award whose honorees also include legends of the craft, like Kathleen Collins, Adrienne Kennedy, Carol Churchill, Maria Irene Fornes, and so many other women and non-binary folks whose work is the reason I continue to write, is one of the great honors of my life. So thank you to the Susan Smith Blackburn Prize for seeing me and for giving a platform to my work. Thank you to everyone who helped me bring this play into existence. And thank you to everyone who encountered this play and didn't turn away from the darkness. Thank you.
And now the moment we've all been waiting for. The announcement of the winner of the 43rd Annual Susan Smith Blackburn Prize. A check for $25,000 plus a limited edition print by renowned artist Willem de Kooning, especially created for the prize. And here to announce the winner is Paapa Essiedu.
It is my absolute pleasure to announce that the winner of the 43rd Susan Smith Blackburn Prize is Coloured Water by Erica Dickinson Dispenser. What a play. Oh my God, what a play. When I say that this play hit me like a train, like a ton of bricks, I don't think I slept for like 3 weeks after reading this play. It did something very significant to me. It's such an accomplished and important piece of work. I was about to say piece of writing, but it's a piece of work, a piece of art that I feel has got the potential to do incredible things. So it was such a privilege for me to read it. I just cannot wait to see it. So my congratulations to you, Erica. Coloured Water is a hard-hitting, ambitious, wonderful play about a family of black women struggling to survive through the Flint, Michigan water crisis. Now, this play pretty much sings, screams, rages, weeps, and literally dances through what is quite a difficult subject matter, but always does it with such a clarity of thought, a lightness of touch, and a sense of humour. Through its passionate exploration of the black female experience in America right now, I feel like this play is going to be a classic of today and of years to come, which will no doubt take the genre of Afro-surrealism to dizzying new heights. Through its intimate and thoughtful scenes, we definitely feel what it's like to live in an America that does not care about nor protect its own people. But Erica Dickerson Dispenser makes sure that we do care, that we do protect, that we do feel, that we do see, and that we will never, never forget. So thank you so much for your piece, Erica, and congratulations.
As a playwright, I aspire to be a delicate sculptor of everyday horrors. I wrote Colored Water to explore the politics of disgust, shame, and refusal by highlighting the rupture of government intervention at the intersection of capitalism and environmental racism. The play examines the impact of these horrors so routinely visited upon dispossessed peoples, namely Black women. I wrote this play specifically for Black women on the margins of the margins, poor and working class Black women, single mothers, elders and widows, Black women in recovery, and young queer Black girls. To be a woman amongst other dynamic women honored for our work is a gift. It is a courageous thing for women to take up space through writing of any kind. But when we choose drama, we engage in a particular act of reclaiming our right to imagine a world and industry that honors women's stories in an embodied way. Women writers enrich our understanding of ourselves and the world. So I leave you with the words of my literary mother and supreme champion of women writers, Ntozake Shange, to whom I dedicate this honor. Where there is a woman, there is magic. If there is a moon falling from her mouth, she is a woman who knows her magic, who can share or not share her powers. A woman with a moon falling from her mouth, roses between her legs, and tiaras of Spanish moss. This woman is a consort of the spirits. Thank you.
So it's the end of the evening. It's Zoom no more tonight. terrible title for a song. Okay, thank you for joining us. And my congratulations and best wishes to the finalists, to the plays, the writers of the plays that have won special commendation, and especially to the winner of the Susan Smith Blackburn Prize herself. Good night.